Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode 2 of Versus Chat. I've decided I'm going to do this this series on Saturdays because it seems like everybody does their FAQs and just chat series on Sundays. And I want to be a little bit different. So the first thing that I want to talk about today is more so of a life thing, but it's something that's suddenly becoming very important to me even on YouTube. And that is the idea of just internal personal peace. So, to kind of go off on a tangent here a little bit, I was picked on when I was a kid. Like, middle school, high school, and all that stuff, it wasn't really a great time for me. I was one of those smart kids, like I was a nerd, and I played a lot of guitar, you know? Like, I was different than a lot of folks. And at the time, that type of stuff really bothered me. And it bothered me throughout most of my life. But I guess you could say I'm something of a late bloomer and a believer in delayed gratification. And ultimately, all of those things that people used to give me a hard time about have evolved into things that give me personal satisfaction, joy, and ultimately, financial stability. So it's like, I consider myself to be my own worst critic. And generally speaking, I don't think that there's anything that anybody can say to me that will really unsettle me, you know? At the end of the day, I just try to be a good person at this because I know that I feel lucky and blessed, and I'm happy. Like, I am genuinely totally happy. I'm in a beautiful marriage. I love my wife more than anything. Everything is just beautiful for me. So because of that, I know that not everybody is this lucky. I know for a fact how lucky I am, and I'm grateful for it and grateful for you guys. And partially because of that, I just try to be, a good person and a nice person to everyone else. And I think that a lot of the issues that we have in the world today would be resolved if people would just be better to each other. So I want to be the best that I can to all of you and everybody each day. Let me just say that I decided to say that instead of talking about any potential YouTube drama. If any of y'all saw what may have just happened, cool. But just know, I'm not one to get into drama. But at the same time, I'm not a bitch. I don't know how else to say that. It's like, if somebody, has something to say to me, I will respond, but at the same time, not to hurt anybody's feelings or anything. I try to keep things factual. But anyway, we'll get off of that and move on to the next topic, the real topic. Let's talk about the Neural DSP Quad Cortex. So, I'm not really gonna give y'all a news update on it, but essentially it's been delayed like 2 or 3 times now. I have pre-ordered it. I'm in what they call the Tier 2 pre-order, which was originally supposed to be arriving to us like late November. So far, the Tier 2s haven't been pushed back. To my understanding, the Tier 1 pre-orders have been pushed back. They were supposed to get theirs in early to mid-November. And like I said, we were supposed to get ours towards the mid or end November. Now it says like all the pre-orders are going to get there around end November. So, of course, I'm looking forward to comparing the Quad Cortex with the Helix, the Axe-Fx, and I still have the Hot Tone Imperial 1 and the Preamp Live. Probably a couple other things. I intend to get a both bias, a bias amp and a a Kemper at some point, but it's not super high on my list. The Quad Cortex is something that I intend on covering quite a lot. The Neural DSP plugins have been my favorite plugins so far. I think that they all sound really good, and because you can implement those plugins, I own the ones that I'm interested in so far. You can import them into your Quad Cortex. To me, that makes the Quad Cortex the device with the most It's not going to have the most models, but it's going to have some extremely interesting models. Not only that, they have one of their main features is something called neural capture, something like that. But essentially, you can take a capture of any piece of gear. So obviously, I'm going to be doing that for you all. I can have a capture of my Direwolf, my KSR arrows, all pedals you can't get anymore. Like this guy. Obviously, you won't get the full feature set of what made this such a cool pedal, but I'm just super happy with the tones you can get out of this guy in the first place. The series, preamp pedals, and all of these amps that I have here. So literally, I put a pause on selling any of my amps until the Quad Cortex and most likely the Kemper get here. Because I'm just going to mention this now. I'm very likely going to implement a Patreon before long. I've thought about doing it prior to now. Some people have asked me to do it. But I mean, I didn't want to give a Patreon and not, I didn't want to offer a Patreon and not have anything to offer you guys. So currently, I'm thinking that I'm going to do, make all of my presets, captures, and Kemper profiles available at the either $1 to $2 level. And then at the $5 level, I'm thinking about having like a Discord server where we can like play video games and stuff. I'm a big video gamer if y'all haven't realized. I play like typically in Discord servers and stuff. I'm super happy to play like Among Us with folks. But more than anything, I play fighting games. That's what I really truly love. So if any of you ever want to play fighting games with me, you know, drop a comment. We can talk about it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the idea of doing a Patreon and if that's something any of you would be interested in. So basically, when I do this Patreon, those presets and captures and profiles will be up there as soon as you join the Patreon. So if some of you want to just pay $1 or $2, I haven't decided what I'm going to do, and just be in it for 1 month and then just leave, you can download everything you want to and leave. Ultimately, that's on you. No hard feelings. Thank you for the $1 or $2. But of course, I'd appreciate the support. But hey, we'll talk about that when we get there. Finally, I want to talk about what gear that I buy nowadays and the things that you're likely to see on this channel. So for the most part, nowadays, I mean, it's so very interesting. So if YouTube wasn't a thing, I would most likely sell almost everything that I have. Because at this point, I feel like I found something that to me has made me more happy, and I found the things that make me more happy, satisfied, and inspired as a guitar player than anything else. And for me, that tends to be the things that I wouldn't sell even at their new value. So this is like, what, a $3,400 guitar? I wouldn't sell this guitar has some dings and scrapes and everything. I wouldn't sell this for the new price. I would probably need to get at least nearly $5,000 for someone to get this guitar off of me, because it's just so far been the guitar that really vibes with me the most. It feels like an extension of myself, and it's just kind of perfect for me. So far, the same thing applies to this the DA20. And if it wasn't for the fact that I have my actual KSR amp that I ordered coming, I would say the same thing about the KSR Orthos. But for those of you that don't know, I have a KSR Artemis on order that should be here shortly. Hopefully. I'm not going to say nothing yet. We're getting there. We're getting to that point. But hopefully I should have a KSR Artemis on the way here soon. So, of course, I intend to compare it with the Orthos. And I'm thinking that the Artemis is going to be able to cover pretty much the exact same ground as the Orthos. At which point, and after I've captured it, of course, I'm going to be selling the Orthos and a lot of these amps. But basically, the gear that I buy nowadays tends to be specifically for this channel. And the things that I look for are, A, is it new? Because yeah, I mean, I want to show folks the new things, and that's what's more likely for people to click on the video, which yeah, I mean, I do care about that. Because I think that I put work into these videos, and I think that I do a pretty decent job of showing what this stuff sounds like next to its competition, which a lot of people don't do. Other than that, my question is there a story behind it? Obviously, there's a story behind the Dover and the Sigil. And so the Sigil I bought for a few reasons. There's a story there. I thought the amp sounded great, and because this kind of ties into the fact there's a story here, but the DA20, like I said, has been like my favorite amp. So to know that there's some similarity here, of course I want to check out the Sigil. And like I said, the video comparing the Sigil and the DA20 will be here soon. And there are for sure some more than subtle differences between the two, but they have enough shared DNA that I think that they both sound super, super great. I'm a huge fan of these amps. But yeah, hey, if you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a comment down there. Let's talk about it. If there's anything you want me to talk about next week, let me know. And yeah, you guys take care. Oh yeah, there's only one more week left before I'm going to choose a winner for the Highwind Direwolf. I'm thinking I might either do this live. I'm considering doing it live. We'll see. But y'all will see when I actually select the winner. Maybe Denise will help me out. But yeah, you guys take care.